Heading to Las Vegas to catch the action at Allegiant Stadium? Skip the traffic and the sky-high room rates of the Strip. Book your stay at the South Point Hotel, Casino, and Spa. The South Point is located just 7 miles away from the stadium, and it's a quick trip up the freeway, making it an affordable rideshare or taxi ride. And don't worry about getting here when you land in Vegas. We offer a convenient airport shuttle to get your getaway off to a stress-free start. Shuttles are also available on Raider game days for a small fee. So whether you're rooting for your team or seeing your favorite band in concert at Allegiant Stadium, South Point Hotel, Casino, and Spa is your ticket to all the excitement.
If you're celebrating a special occasion or just love fine dining, you're in the right place. Come experience the crown jewel of South Point restaurants, Michael's Gourmet Room.
Welcome.
With over 600 different types of wines and magnificent dishes prepared tableside, you'll revel in the rich classic Vegas decor and the best black tie service in the world. This intimate gourmet room has earned accolades galore. Come to Michael's Gourmet Room for an unforgettable dining experience. Another famous restaurant is the Silverado Steakhouse, where you'll find the charm and service that discerning patrons require. From top quality steaks and chops to fresh seafood and desserts, you'll love the award-winning wine list and menu at Silverado Steakhouse. Steak lovers have even more options with primarily prime rib. Catering to hearty appetites, the menu features a variety of flavorful prime rib cuts, dry-aged to ensure tenderness, and then seasoned and slowly roasted. Although prime rib is our specialty, it's not the only thing on the menu. There's something for everyone.
Looking to bet smarter? Get sports betting insight and winning picks straight from the South Point Hotel and Casino.
The favorite should be 220-ish, and here, you could lay $1.65.
So getting a plus 315 price here for this one to go to overtime. I like it.
Their strength is their defense. I like the under.
Join Sports by the Book Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. Pacific and bet your winning edge.
We have 11 amazing restaurants featuring a wide variety for every price range and appetite. South Point's Garden Buffet has something for everyone at unbeatable prices. Or, if hunger strikes in the middle of the night, join us at Coronado Cafe. The American menu offers breakfast, lunch, or dinner 24 hours a day, plus a Chinese kitchen for authentic Chinese dishes from 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. From steak and eggs to wonton soup, it's fast and friendly service 24/7. When you need a quick pick-me-up, you can find it at our state-of-the-art Starbucks just inside the main South Point entrance. Order ahead with the Starbucks app for easy mobile order pickups. Or enjoy your favorites in the relaxing dining area anytime, day or night. If you love Mexican food, Baja Miguel's has all of your south-of-the-border favorites. There are dozens of classics to choose from, like fajitas, ceviche, chimichangas, tacos, and more. And for spirit lovers, Baja's colorful non-smoking tequila bar is right outside.
Happy Hump Day, everybody. Welcome in. It is Wednesday, February 25th. Happy to be with you. This is Sports by the Book. We are live from the South Point Hotel and Casino. You can catch us 5 days a week. Fun show. We like to cover as many sports as we can, give you some edge. And Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. Pacific time, Sports by the Book. Thank you. If you are watching live, please let us know in the chat. Love to hear from you guys. I'm Alex White alongside Ryan McCormick. Ryan, yesterday, good and bad. I'm not sure how Matt never ended up. Couple I saw get through for him. 2 and 3 for me on the hardwood. NC State, bad shooting night, and that's a chance you take with that team. USC, 14 turnovers against UCLA compared to 4, so that's not going to get you there. But a couple big ones. I did love Marquette. They got there on the money line, and Iowa State under was a nice one for me. But overall, how was your night? And you took a night off, which was probably smart after we had a great Monday, but how was your night? And then if you want to give us some trends from yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, I had a great night. Got to enjoy some time with my daughter and watch some basketball with her. So it was a good time. But yeah, talking about we'll go to big money line underdogs yesterday. There were none to win in the NBA. There were none to win in Major League Baseball, but there were 3 in college basketball, and one of which was a 750 money line underdog to win outright, and that would be UCF, Central Florida, taking down BYU at BYU. They are joined by Western Michigan to take down Bowling Green, who was a $6 money line underdog there at Bowling Green. And then the other one above $3 yesterday as a money line underdog would be Northwestern, getting plus 350 on that money line on the road at Indiana. So just $3 or more underdogs to win outright yesterday on the hardwood. But we'll go the college basketball trends. These numbers are brought to you by the South Point Sportsbook based on their closing odds at what time the games tipped off and what those prices were at. So favorites in men's college basketball yesterday, 2 games were canceled because of the weather in the Northeast. But 27-9 straight up were the favorites, 18, 17, and 1 against the spread.
Wow.
And totals were 21 and 15, 21 overs, 15 unders there in men's college basketball. Going to the NBA, in 11 games, 7 and 4 were favorites straight up, 6 and 5 against the spread, and 5 and 6 were the totals. Another fun counting day for the NBA there, as it was 7-4, 6-5, 5-6. So 5 overs, 6 unders there in the NBA. And then bringing up some spring training baseball. We did have 12 games yesterday, so favorites went 6, 4, and 1 against the spread. There are ties in spring training. The Mets and Astros did play a 10th inning, but normally they don't play the extras. But 8 run lines were covered in those games, 4 of which were reverse. So half the run lines covered yesterday were by the underdog, winning by multiple runs, and totals were 7 and 5, 7 overs, 5 unders there. And there was a big money line underdog to win, not $3 or more, but the largest money line underdog of the day yesterday was the Chicago White Sox taking on the Mariners, and they did pull off the upset in a 12-10 game, in which only 2 home runs were hit, both 2-run homers towards the beginning of the game, 28 total hits. So it was really putting bat on ball and getting runners to go around the bases and kind of stay in flow versus it being a long ball. But Cal Raleigh did homer, did have a 2-run homer there, along with Tanner Murray, the 9-hitter for the White Sox, adding the other 2-run homer there in that game.
If you had White Sox and Mariners being the highest scoring game of the day, good for you. Hold on. Okay, yes, they were higher than the Pirates and the Red Sox. So that's very interesting. But you talking about that's kind of how Seattle wants to play, right? Not really just relying on the long ball. But it should be interesting keeping up with this and seeing how high scoring these games are. Maybe that's a way that we want to look to play it. I mean, the Dodgers coming out hot already. Brewers, man, and the A's, hopefully they can get going here soon. But the other thing that I heard from your whole trends, brought to you by the South Point Sportsbook, is the dogs not necessarily barking on the hardwood. And, typically I'm looking for those road dogs with the home revenge, but I'm going to add another one and looking more at small favorites at home that did lose that first matchup. So not really adding anything into it, but if it works and there is a line difference there, maybe laying a small favorite at home where they're trying to split. Now that we are coming down to the end here, we've got conference tournaments starting next week. Pretty crazy. We're almost there. It's almost March Madness officially. And in 24 minutes or so, Kenny White, professional sports bettor, professional handicapper, is going to join us and give us some of his numbers, kind of go through top 10 men's and women's, so we can, find some value, maybe some teams that could make some runs there. But maybe we'll talk about some college baseball as well. But getting into our sport today, Ryan, officially NHL is back. We've got 8 hockey games. I'm very excited. How about you?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm wearing my shout out to Attila for the Knights Aviators crossover jersey, which does have the 25 on the back, so it works with today's date. But they are underdogs on the road in Los Angeles. I'm not too confident that they'll be able to get it done. I do think that the Jack Eichel is more than likely not going to play. So same with Noah Hannafin. So we'll see who's actually participating in these games today. Some of the guys that participate in the Olympics might not be back into the flow and ready to participate with their NHL teams just yet. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, very excited that the NHL resumes play. We got the final stretch of the regular season here, with some teams playing 23 games, some teams playing up to 27 games in these 50 days to the end of the NHL regular season. So it is a very exciting time to be a hockey fan, as it is back in the regular season. We did watch the Olympics and some pretty exciting hockey there. So did want to bring up yesterday's post first, talking about some college basketball games that are being played today, talking about some games in the Mountain West, some teams coming off of a loss. And that would be Utah State, San Diego State, who play a game tonight. And then Grand Canyon hosts UNLV, which our guy Matt Neverett, who was on the show yesterday, is going to be in Phoenix for currently. He was at the Celtics Suns game last night, so we got to watch the Celtics win there. But anyway, watching or commentating on doing the play-by-play for UNLV there against the Lopes of Grand Canyon. So yesterday's post was, which team are you most confident in to rebound, take a step forward after a step back in the Mountain West standings, coming off of a loss? So Utah State at San Diego State hosting Utah State, or Grand Canyon hosting UNLV here tonight. And 50% of the votes in that poll were to the Lopes being able to take down UNLV there in Phoenix tonight. We did want your guys' thoughts on golf tournament this weekend. That is today's post. In the description of today's video is the link to go vote in that one, talking about the Cognizant Classic, with the 4 favorites to win that golf tournament throughout the weekend, which tees off tomorrow. So Ryan Gerard is 15-1, along with Shane Lowry. Those are your 2 favorites there to win the Cognizant Classic. And then the Hogards, Nikolai Hogard and Rasmus Hogard, are both 20-1. Those are your 4 favorites to vote in on that post. If you want to comment and give somebody else a longer shot to win that golf tournament, you are more than welcome to. But we'd love your guys' thoughts there. So, but for hockey today.
Really quick, though, that should be an interesting tournament because a lot of the big names not in it.
Right.
So you might be able to find some long shots there. Just take a look and doing your research for some golf picks. With that, Grand Canyon is, kind of one of the teams I'm talking about, right? Because UNLV beat them in Phoenix earlier this year. Is 7.5 too many points? I don't know. But so that was the post yesterday. I do agree with that. And then Attila, you brought up Attila and your jersey. I saw in the chat he said I should delete USC from the computer. He beat me to it. They are a no bet for me from here on out, USC. So I agree with that. JR jumped in, said Indiana is a football school now.
Can't get rid of the blue blood like that.
Yeah. And then BYU, that was a huge upset. And we talked about the Big 12, so I'm not that surprised because BYU had that big win over Iowa State. Kind of a letdown spot there, and Central Florida took advantage. So a lot that I wanted to get in there before we get to hockey. I don't know if you had any other comments before we get to the ice as well.
I do appreciate the comment from Joey B saying I'm going with the Mark Stone haircut. I'm proud to say I do have a little more hair than he does, but he has a lot more of other stuff than I do. Anyway, going to the games being played today in the NHL. We'll go to the nation's capital, Washington, D.C., where the Flyers are on the road getting plus 125. Capitals are a minus 145 favorite, and the total is 5.5 with a 120 to the over.
So I would have the Caps favored a little bit more here at home. Tom Wilson should not be playing tonight, so I took 15 cents out, so now I'm at minus 155, pretty much right there. Total 5.5. Wow. I swear I saw a 6.5 last night and thought that was a great underplay, but looks like either I saw it wrong or the market adjusted.
No, it opened 6.5 here at the South Point. The under was minus 125.
Yes, that's right. I remember it being juiced a lot to the under there. So big adjustment there. I made it 6 though. Is this an over adjustment for the total? Any thoughts on that, Ryan?
Yeah, my thoughts for really the day slate as a whole is kind of tread lightly, and we don't fully know what we're going to see with these guys that participate in the Olympics. I mean, some rosters, granted, had more than others, and so some guys have been practicing together for these last 2 weeks, or took a week off and been practicing together for the last week, and are really only getting key guys back for these last couple of days. So I would be more so leaning to the home teams being able to get it done, not having to go through the travel and kind of have the comfortability, everything like that. But when it comes to the total, yeah, I wouldn't know what to expect here tonight from these teams. So just it is a tread lightly for me.
I mean, just the experience, some of the big names on the caps, I lean to that side, especially if we are getting Logan Thompson, who did not take 2 weeks off. He got 1 game over there in the Olympics, so got to see some live action. I think he'll be ready for this one. So if anything, maybe a small pizza money bet there on the Caps to get it done by 2 goals and get a good plus price there. But I completely agree that it is going to be a tread lightly unless something just is way off. But definitely I'll be taking a step back unit size wise and not going like regular season full bets on these. But keeping it moving to
up to New Jersey.
Yeah, to Jack Hughes' team.
Yeah, the first of 2 full pick'em games, so minus 110 on the money line either way. And we've got a total of 6 with a 115 to the over in the Sabres Devils game.
And that's right where my number is too. I've got the Devils minus 118 at home, so not a huge difference there. And I've got 6 juice to the under at minus 115, but not a big difference. I think those numbers are right. I was taking a look, though, at medians for these first 2 games. And that first one where I thought it was 6.5, now it's down to 5.5. I mean, it's 3-3-3-3 for both teams. I did find it interesting. The Flyers, median over-under, or their total set so far in the year is 5.5. So now that has over-adjusted there. Here with the Sabres and the Devils, 3 goals for, 3 goals against for both teams. The Sabres, though, 6.5 is their typical median total set for the year. So another one, though, going to be tough to really try and figure this out. What do we think? Markstrom did get some time there. Is it going to be Jake Allen? And there's the Jake that we found him. Jake Allen, who I usually call Jack Allen. I thought it was going to be Markstrom, but that would make more sense if he's getting a little time.
I will be taking a chance here with the Sabres. But I'm going to have to check what the reverse puck line is here for this one. The Devils had 7 guys participate in the Olympics. The Sabres only had 2. My one hesitation would be, you mentioned that this is Jack Hughes' team, so his entire team, all of his teammates got to watch him score the golden goal and kind of have the respect for their team leader and everything. And if that's what instills confidence in the roster to turn the tide and bring them to what we had their projections going into the year, I wouldn't be surprised. But when we had Eddie Olczyk on, he talked about the team that surprised him most in the first half or going into the break was these Buffalo Sabres, and that offense is potent and can do a lot of things. So I'll be taking a chance here on the Buffalo Sabres the first night back.
I'm reading that Tage Thompson is going to play too.
Even better.
Yeah. There is a tweet here from, where did it go?
215 on the reverse puck.
Rachel M. Lindsay on Twitter, but says forward Tage Thompson won the gold medal Sunday, has gone through 3 major cities in the last 3 days, and will be in the lineup Wednesday at New Jersey. He's young. He could do it. But okay, so you're going Sabres there. This next one is interesting. because we've got two teams with multiple guys that were over at the Olympics. And then I did read that John Cooper will not be behind the bench for Tampa Bay tonight. I believe somebody in his family passed away, so I don't know how to handicap this one. My number is -$2 here for Tampa Bay. Total 6.5 under. So maybe a little bit of a lean to the over there. Anything jump out to you?
Yeah, the Lightning being a -220 favorite here against the Maple Leafs. We've gotten used to the Maple Leafs not playing well in the going into the break, and we saw the Lightning win, I believe, 21 of 22 games heading into the break. So that team was almost impossible to beat heading into the break. And I would imagine that it'll be more of the same here now that we're back. Did you see anything on whether or not Austin Matthews will be playing in this game?
I didn't see anything for Matthews.
Okay. I would be more inclined to, obviously back into Lightning as a 220 favorite, but more so the puck line, getting a +110 there, even though it is a little short. So more than likely won't see it on my whiteboard, but that is where I'm looking.
I mean, Toronto, they definitely have a hill to climb. Looking at their media numbers, they're complete opposites. Tampa Bay on the road, 3 goals for and just 2 goals against. Toronto in their road games so far this year, their median number for goals given up is 4, and only scored 3. So, yeah, it kind of leans to and over there, I guess. But Tampa Bay just 5, and it will be Vasilevsky. So, I agree with you. I think that would be the correct side. They seem highly motivated too.
Yes.
Even guys getting back early.
Yeah. Jake Getzel not participating in last night's activities, making sure he stays at home and ready to participate with his team and finish this cup run. To add a gold medal and a Stanley Cup in the same year for Jake Getzel there.
Might even, without John Cooper there.
Yeah.
A little bit of a to it for him. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, going over to Dallas, where the Stars are a -170 home favorite against the Kraken, who are +150 on that buyback. The total is a 5.5 with a -120 to the under.
The Stars are a very tough team to handicap right now because they're making bringing guys up, sending backup goalies down. So Jake Ottinger will be the backup here for Casey DeSmith. So that is one thing that's pretty comforting. But no Rantanen, he will not be in this game. Adding all of that in, I'm pretty much at the same number, -162 for Dallas against the Kraken and 5.5 over 20. So getting even money going over that 5.5. Maybe that is a way to play this a little bit. Any interest in the Kraken here, Ryan? Take a +150.
I do think it is a good enough price. It's also the highest price in the market on the money line for the Kraken is that 150 here at the South Point. So, I could be tempted into taking Seattle here, being able to get it done in Dallas.
I think just the drop off from from Ottinger to Casey DeSmith is big enough to where if you do have Grubauer going for Seattle, that I could be talked into that as well. So yeah, lean to the over, and without Otter going too. I think that kind of is correlated there. So lean to the over, lean to the dog in that one.
All right, we'll go to the first of 2 road favorites, priced the exact same in both games. Starting with the Colorado Avalanche on the road in Utah against the Mammoth. A -125 favorite are the Avalanche on the road, +105 for the Mammoth. And the total is 6, -110 both ways.
Jeez, I didn't take anything off for Colorado yet. -142 would be my number for them. I don't have a big drop off from Wedgwood to Blackwood, if any. So what are we thinking here? I didn't see anything with the lineup for Colorado and Utah. I haven't really seen for the lines for this matchup here.
Yeah, I haven't seen anything either, but if the Canadians do play in this game, that would be McKinnon, Makar, and Taze. I would think that they're going to be pretty fired up and want to finish this strong, so that way they do come out on top in one way or another with a team that they're playing for. So I would expect, the Avalanche to be kind of buzzing. They also had 5 other guys participate with them in the Olympics. So I would imagine only Brock Nelson was an American. He also did not go last night. So I would imagine, this team's going to be pieced back together and ready to go, ready to finish the season just as the Tampa Bay Lightning are, and excited to get things going. So it would be a look here with the Avalanche.
That's a very short price, and we've kind of found those spots where you're getting Colorado at a short price. It's kind of worth taking a shot there, minus 125 for a team that was so dominant. Now they did start to slide a little bit before the break, but I think that was more looking ahead to the Olympics and how many guys did go participate in that. So I'm with you, minus 125 there. 6.5 is my total too, so a little bit to the over as well.
The one thing that does give me a little hesitation is the Mammoth have been exceptional in that Delta Center this year. They're 17-8-2 at home this year, so 17-10 on the money line. This will probably end up being a closer game than, it's priced to be a close game, so I don't know if I would be taking the puck line there with the Avalanche. Don't know if I want to lay the 220 to take it with the Mammoth. So if you are trying to get a plus price, I wouldn't hate it with the Mammoth, but I do think the Avalanche get it done there.
Yeah.
Just kind of the thought process there. All right, going to Los Angeles where our Knights are on the road. The Kings minus 145 at home, plus 125 for the Vegas Golden Knights, and the total is 5.5 with 115 to the under.
I'm right there, Ryan. Both Kings minus 138, and the total 5.5 over. Juice to the over minus 120. I'm not going to touch this game for sure because, just with Eichel and Hannafin probably just getting back, I don't think we'll see them. And then don't really know about the other 3 that won the silver. So
this is the 4th meeting of the year between these two.
sounds right.
Yep. 4th and final meeting. Okay. Yeah, I remember now. So they played the last game before the break.
That's right.
Was tempted to went back to back with Wild and Predators had gone into overtime each of their prior instances. Took a chance on them to go to overtime in the 3rd game, which it did. So I tried to do it again here with the Knights and Kings, as they had gone to overtime in their first 2. They did not. In their 3rd, the Knights ended up winning 4-1. So that was kind of the immediate thought, was if this game would go to an overtime, which if we do get the guys missing that we're playing in the Olympics, it is a pretty nice rivalry, and it should be a pretty hard fought hockey match. So
definitely
could be a good look there for that one to go to overtime.
Oh yeah,
I'll find out what that one is. But in the meantime, the next one is priced Winnipeg on the road in Vancouver. The Canadian battle there is priced the exact same as the Avalanche and Mammoth, a minus 125 road favorite, plus 105 on the home team Canucks, and the total is 6 with a 120 to the over.
I don't have Winnipeg quite that high. I've got a minus 116 here on the road. Total, I've got 6 over 23. So right there with the total. 2 backup goalies. We haven't seen Thatcher Demko for Vancouver for a while now, but I've been kind of trying to figure out who their next guy up is. And then obviously no Hellebuck here for the Jets. So this was an easy pass for me between these 2.
It is a 280 for the Knights and Kings to go to overtime here in town. Not exactly good enough for me to want to play that one. But talking about Winnipeg and Vancouver.
I don't know. Keep it going. How many overtime games did we see in the Olympics?
Right.
The Knights are on pace to break that record with overtime.
305. Where's this at? William Hill. 305 at a different shop in town. That I like a little more, a little 25 cents more. If you can get over $3 on that one to go to overtime, I would take it.
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna have to go to William Hill. Okay. Thank you, Sean. Okay. Talking about that Winnipeg Vancouver game. Winnipeg's been the worst team in the National Hockey League the entire season. Don't expect that to change. Don't think we'll get the Secretary of Defense, Connor Hellebuck, in net tonight for the Jets. So I would think that the minus 125 on the money line is fine. But again, as I said, kind of to start this NHL stuff slate, the home team should be fired up in their first games back from the break. The crowd should be fired up, getting their teams back. So spotted the Canucks against the Capitals earlier, about a month ago.
Yeah, you did.
Wouldn't want to take it here with the Jets, though. I would much rather take the Jets.
I think you said Winnipeg's been the worst, but I think you meant
Yes.
Vancouver.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely meant Vancouver.
Yeah.
All right, going to Anaheim, back across the border, where the Oilers are on the road. This one is a minus 110 both ways on the money line, and the total is 6.5 with a minus 145 to the over.
Yeah, I don't want to lay that minus 145 to go over, but I did make this total 7, so I can understand why it is juiced that much. I'm right there, minus 112 for the Ducks at home here. Any thoughts on this one between these two?
Yes. This one being a pick'em is really tempting for me to jump in on that minus and the reverse puck line maybe for the Ducks to get things done. Just kind of thinking, I mean, I made the same point for Colorado that the Canadian guys for them, really everybody else on the Avalanche team would be fired up. Have to think the Edmonton team's going to be fired up. McDavid's going to be fired up.
Yes.
But it would be a look to Joel Quenneville being able to kind of stifle things there. That's $2 for the Ducks on the puck line there. Well, I'll more than likely be playing the Sabres on the money line and Ducks on the money line, and then trying the reverse puck lines there as well.
Ryan, as we look at the standings, and they did release that Sidney Crosby is going to be on the IR, so we'll miss at least 4 weeks. Are there any teams, and I guess that kind of just reminded me with the Ducks, who right now are the second wild card, and we'll take a look. We'll get numbers ready, and we can talk about this tomorrow and or Friday, but just kind of looking at teams to make a nice little run if we can find for them to make the playoffs and get a plus price with some. But yeah, I mean, you talked about Utah and Anaheim, who right now are the 1 and 2 wild card. Are those two teams you are looking at in the Western Conference?
In a way, yes. I will point out that my two favorite teams are in the Western Conference, so those are the teams that I will mainly look out for. But in terms of making the postseason, making a run in the postseason, I would be a little shocked if the Ducks did it. I don't think that they have necessarily the best goaltending to be able to get it done. They're also right in the middle of turning things around as part of a rebuild, so I don't think they'll be able to get over the hump that quickly. Kind of the same thing for Utah, completely revamping that entire franchise, not just the roster. So with those two being in the wild card position, anybody beneath them, it would be a team that's been competitive all year, and it would be the Sharks, which again, it's the exact same point that I just made with the Ducks. They're in the middle of a rebuild, or at the really forefront of a rebuild. But Macklin Celebrini, we have kind of seen that he's a completely different animal. And he's 19 years old, turns 20 in a couple of months. So they're going to be good in the next couple of years. But in terms of being competitive in the West, I do think it is pretty much between the division leaders right now, whether that be Colorado, Minnesota, or... I mean, Edmonton clearly has to get over the hump. And Vegas has to stay healthy, get healthy, stay healthy. But it would be the top, those four for me in the West, and we'll kind of talk about it when we get into our NHL top 10s next week. But
I'm with you with the Sharks, though. I do think that one is pretty fascinating, especially when you see the sales, everything that has happened since people watching Celebrini over there in Italy. So maybe it gets more fans there, maybe just some good momentum going for the last third. But
one, if you do think that the Sharks can turn around that quickly, can pull a shocker. That one did move from 80-1 to win the cup to now 300-1 to win the cup. So it's a nice pretty penny to put some pizza money on if you are a Sharks fan or a Sharks backer or confident that they can turn things around that quickly.
Jeez.
So
that's a lot. I wonder if just to make the playoffs as how that has moved. But looking at the Eastern Conference really quick, and then we'll take a quick break and check in with Kenny White if he is ready to talk some college basketball. But looking at the Eastern Conference, I don't think Pittsburgh can keep this going without Crosby. I don't know where you are with that, but right now they are second in the Metro, and maybe this is I don't know, where we can find some other teams to kind of sneak up if they do drop and drop a few games.
This Eastern Conference is going to be a whole lot of fun as we get down the stretch. Ottawa's been played a whole lot better going into the break. We know the Florida roster. They're going to have to play better to get into the postseason. Boston and Buffalo are the teams sitting in the wild card, and I've been confident in Boston for the majority of the year, but they were also one of the worst teams in the National Hockey League last year, so they're kind of exceeding expectations going into the year. The Devils have not lived up to their expectations at all, as I just mentioned with the Panthers. So the teams that are out are capable and have the talent to get in. And yeah, as you mentioned, the Penguins, they're also exceeding expectations, and you're now without Sid for at least 4 weeks. That's going to be a tough thing to get through. So yeah, this Eastern Conference is going to be a whole lot of fun to keep track of the next month and a half.
Yeah, we'll have to dive into that Metropolitan, because if the Islanders bump up, which I anticipate that they will, even if Sid that's a team I kind of wanted to start back in here, then Columbus, Washington, Devils, who could make a nice little run there. So we'll look at odds and everything and have more later this week or next week when we talk about our top 10 power ratings. But all right, let's take a quick break. So we went through all the hockey. We've got a lot of basketball to get to, whether it's just us two going through some numbers or Kenny White. We're going to talk some top 10 and some futures looking ahead to March Madness here on Sports by the Book. We'll be right back after this break.
Looking to bet smarter? Get sports betting insight and winning picks straight from the South Point Hotel and Casino.
The favorite should be 220-ish, and here you could lay $1.65.
So getting a plus 315 price here for this one to go to overtime. I like it.
Their strength is their defense. I like the under.
Join Sports by the Book Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. Pacific and bet your winning edge.
We have 11 amazing restaurants featuring a wide variety for every price range and appetite. South Point's Garden Buffet has something for everyone at unbeatable prices. Or if hunger strikes in the middle of the night, join us at Coronado Cafe. The American menu offers breakfast, lunch, or dinner 24 hours a day, plus a Chinese kitchen for authentic Chinese dishes from 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. From steak and eggs to wonton soup, it's fast and friendly service 24/7. When you need a quick pick-me-up, you can find it at our state-of-the-art Starbucks just inside the main South Point entrance. Order ahead with the Starbucks app for easy mobile order pickups. Or enjoy your favorites in the relaxing dining area anytime, day or night. If you love Mexican food, Baja Miguel's has all of your south-of-the-border favorites. There are dozens of classics to choose from, like fajitas, ceviche, chimichangas, tacos, and more. And for spirit lovers, Baja's colorful non-smoking tequila bar is right outside.
Las Vegas to catch the action at Allegiant Stadium? Skip the traffic and the sky-high room rates of the Strip. Book your stay at the South Point Hotel, Casino, and Spa. The South Point is located just 7 miles away from the stadium, and it's a quick trip up the freeway, making it an affordable rideshare or taxi ride. And don't worry about getting here when you land in Vegas. We offer a convenient airport shuttle to get your getaway off to a stress-free start. Shuttles are also available on Raider game days for a small fee. So whether you're rooting for your team or seeing your favorite band in concert at Allegiant Stadium, South Point Hotel, Casino, and Spa is your ticket to all the excitement.
And we are back here on Sports by the Book, live on YouTube. You can catch us 5 days a week, 10 a.m. Pacific time. As always, live from the South Point Hotel and Casino, where we do have one of the best parties here for March Madness. The Most Massive Madness Party coming up March 19th through the 21st. Exhibit Hall. Plenty of seating, screens, viewings, of course, kiosks for betting. So make sure you get down here if you are coming to Vegas. To get us ready for the Most Massive Madness Party in Vegas, former odds maker for the Vegas line for over 30 years, now professional handicapper then as well. And my dad joining us now, Kenny White. Happy to have you, Dad. I know you are super busy, so we appreciate the time with you. Let's just start off with some best teams in college basketball right now. I mean, I think we all know 3 that are going to be the 1 seeds with Michigan, Duke, and probably Arizona, but kind of run through your top 10 and who you're liking this year.
Yeah. Hi, Alex. Thanks for having me. It's a crazy busy time of year with so many good sports to bet on right now. So it is a good time of year for bettors. Books, it's got to be kind of tough with all the games on the board because obviously, the NFL's the one sport that they love to book the most. And now that it's over, it's on to, men's basketball, women's basketball, college baseball, and NBA and NHL. That's a lot of action right there. NCAA basketball, yeah, I still, even after Duke beat Michigan on Saturday at Madison Square Garden, I still have Michigan a solid number 1 in the country. I've just loved the way Dusty May's team has played from the beginning of the year up to that game, and that was just, you can't wait a lot on just one game. So again, the Wolverines number 1. I've got the Gators number 2. Todd Golden's team, I think, is outstanding. Duke, I have 3. And then I've got the Illini 4. I think Brandon Underwood's got a great team, and they had some injuries during the year, and they're pretty healthy right now.
Love to hear that. There is a prop up at the South Point, and it is which the winner will come from which conference. Right now, Big 12 is actually the favorite, and they've kind of been beating each other up and this last week or so. They're plus 140. Big 10 is plus 170. Then we've got the SEC, which you would get Florida in there 7-1. ACC a little bit shorter with Duke 4-1. Any of those stand out? I mean, your top 4, you mentioned 2 Big 10 teams, but they haven't won a national championship since 2001.
Wow, a long time. And it's always been a good basketball conference. But I would lean a little bit to the Big Ten because, as I mentioned, I think Michigan's still number 1 in the country. And the Illini is a loaded basketball team. But Purdue, you can't give up on them. They got one of the best point guards in the country, and that's what wins in March Madness. Matt Painter, an outstanding coach. So I have 3 Big Ten teams in my top 6. I would like to maybe take that. I may take that $1.70. It's hard to turn down 7-1 on the SEC because they have some really solid teams too. None of them up at the top though, and that's kind of scares me a little bit. I've got Tennessee at 9. Arkansas at 12 and Alabama at 13. So you do have 4 teams out of the top 13. So you just need an upset or 2. And you might be able to get one of those one of those teams into the Final Four. But Vanderbilt and Kentucky, I've got 19 and 20. So a lot of talent there, but still those teams are almost a 10-point underdog to Michigan at this point. I really think, looking at my numbers, they're when I would think you'd want to be within 8 points of the top team, and there's only 7 teams in the country within the 8-point margin of against Michigan. So Iowa State's right on the cusp of being within that number.
Ryan, anything as a whole before? I want to ask about the American, but you want to ask anything else kind of as a whole with college basketball right now?
It was the Illini being the number 4 team for you, and kind of talking about the Big Ten. What is it that makes them kind of the best, the 4th best team in the country for you?
Offensively, they may be the number 1 offensive team in the country, and they're a team that they play very methodical. They move the basketball extremely well. They spread out the court. They're just a really tough team to stop offensively. And then the defensive end, their numbers aren't great, but one category jumps out to me when I watch the Illini. They don't allow teams to the free throw line. They don't foul. So that the number one thing, how that happens is you move your feet on defense, and that's how defense is played. So being the top offense and a team that can move their feet on defense and stay in position, they guard extremely well. The one thing they don't do is they don't create turnovers. And I think it's because they just play such solid fundamental defense, and I think that wins out in the long run. So I really do like this basketball team. They lost a tough one to UCLA the other night in overtime. And it's such a tough conference. They lost back-to-back games against Michigan State and Wisconsin, but they had a nice 11-game winning streak at one point. And again, as I mentioned before, Kylan Boswell, one of their best players, was out for a while, and he's been back now, and I think that helps out. Their small forward, Stojanovic, was out for a couple of games, so they're right now the healthiest they've been all year long. And
Did we lose him?
so that's a good team. I like this Illini team.
Yeah, great question, Ryan. And I love that about the no fouling there, and took a look at that on Ken Palm. They do have them number 1 and then Duke number 2 in that category. So very fascinating stuff there. I want to ask you about the American Conference tournament coming up here. And you taught me years ago to go through every single conference, check on how their format is for their bracket, and looking at them this year, kind of just starting. But American, I noticed they changed their format. It looks a lot more like WCC, where the 1 and 2 seed get a bye week all the way to the semifinals. Did you have a chance to look at that?
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that to my attention, because it is about time I start to do that. But I'm building out a website that's going to have great sports information on it, and it will have our standing pages will show the tournament format. So I haven't had a chance to do that, just trying to automate as much as possible. But it is time I go through all of these tournaments. And you're right, this one, the AAC is one of those tournaments that makes the season very interesting, because the more motivation you have for a higher seed, the better consistent play you get out of your team. So this is going to be a conference that, you're going to win a higher percentage of your bets in this conference than other conferences, because you get that best effort every night. And when I handicapped this league, Alex, one thing stood out to me, that Birmingham is the site of this conference tournament, and that's UAB. So you got to add on a home court advantage for them. Right now, they are number 4 seed in the conference, which get them pretty far in the tournament. But they're only 1 game out of getting that really exclusive bye all the way to the semifinals. And if they do that, they're a team that's got a good chance to win this tournament. I'm not sure what their odds are, but I'm going to bet you can get at least 4 or 5 to 1 on UAB. I think it'd be a good value play.
Geez, we got to jump in now, too, because their last 3 games are doable. 2 home games. They'll host North Texas, and then East Carolina's their final game, but go to Charlotte in between there. So love that. All right, we'll keep an eye on that one and look for some odds for them to win.
Yeah, it's a good team, and Andy Cunningham's is a very solid head coach. So you're right. The schedule that they have left, all 3 games, they'll be the favorite in all 3 of those games. So they have a very good chance to finish one or not. I don't think they'll finish 1. South Florida's got a little bit of a comfortable lead, about a game and a half over everybody. So UAB's got a good chance to finish with the 2 seed.
Well, the team that is currently the 2 seed in the American is Tulsa, and they're in action tonight. They're on the road against Tulane. They're a 4.5 point road favorite, and the total is 156.5. Did you have a play in that one?
Ryan, I do, and that's another good basketball team. Tulsa, I like this coach Eric Conkle. He's done a good job there, and I use a lot of revenge factors in my handicap, but it's a must-win game for both teams. I did lay the 4.5 with Tulsa in this spot. But a big must win. Both teams must win because Tulane is right there as well, trying to battle for a top spot. They're 8-6 right now in the conference. So you're going to get a good effort out of both, but I like it that Tulsa's got the revenge factor from last year and the better basketball team. But again, they don't have to cover to be excited after the game. That's one thing that scares me about laying favorites. But I do like Tulsa tonight, and I did bet them.
Keeping it with some action for tonight's games. There was a big one I circled, and I think you have a lean or maybe a play here. Rick Pitino's team, St. John's in Connecticut, and St. John's did win the first matchup at home, but Dan Hurley's team's been playing a lot better. Anything in this one going to the Big East here between St. John's and UConn?
Yeah, I like St. John's. Rick Pitino is just super basketball coach. We've known that for years, and it doesn't matter where he's at. He knows how to win, and he plays an exciting style of basketball when they get up and down and up tempo. I'm looking for the game number. I don't see that on my sheet. Oh, maybe it's on the front page.
To find that.
Yeah, it's on the front page. I was looking through 3 pages. Game 706. I bet the game under, and I just said I like the fast pace that St. John's plays, but they do play very, very solid defense, and we know Connecticut. This Connecticut team. Their defense is their key, and both teams actually. If you look at the KenPom numbers, they should show you that both teams actually have better defenses than they do offense. And Connecticut's been playing extremely slow offensively. Their offense is very, very methodical.
Well, another game in action tonight is in the Big Ten, featuring the worst team in the Big Ten. That'd be the Oregon Ducks. So this tip-off is at 8 p.m. It's talking about 7-6-1, 7-6-2. Wisconsin on the road as a 5.5-point road favorite and the total of 151.5. Did you have a look there?
Yeah, I did. You're right. Oregon has just had a really down year, and that's mainly because of injuries this year. They lost their point guard, who was the best player on their team, Jackson Shelstad, 12 games into the season. That was a huge loss for them. And then they lost their center, the 7-foot center, Nate Biddle, was out. I think he missed 5 or 6 games. So with those two guys out of the lineup, I think the stretch there was this team lost 10 straight games at one point, and that coincided with those injuries. They've gotten a little healthier as of late, but I think the only thing that Oregon team right now has to look forward to is the conference tournament. And I'll tell you what, Wisconsin is right now, they've been playing, I think, as well as anybody in the entire country. They had a bad loss against Ohio State a couple of games ago, but other than that, their last 15 games, they have been really good, playing the best basketball I've seen them play all year. They're very solid offensively. They take care of the basketball, and they get great shots. So you got a team that's really peaking, I think, at the right time against a team who's still, kind of beat up without that starting point guard. Not a lot of motivation. So I bet Wisconsin, they also had home revenge. Oregon beat them up in Madison last year. So that kind of helped put me on that play. But even without the revenge factor, I still would have had a play. I've got a 15-point difference in the power ratings between these two teams. So that was one of my bigger differences on the board today.
Well, Sean, you'll be happy to hear Sean is a sharp now. He spotted Wisconsin 300-1 here at the South Point and did take some of that. So he's very excited how they are playing and some of the biggest wins so far in the season. So pretty good. That's what we're looking for, right? We're looking for value when it comes to this tournament and trying to spot some numbers that are just off. I
have Wisconsin number 18 in the country, and if they improve a couple of more points, they could be close to the top 10. So this is a Wisconsin team that should be able to get you to the Sweet 16. And then at that point, you just have to pull off a couple of upsets, and the right matchup for Wisconsin could put them in good position. But that's a very solid basketball team. That's a really nice number for this team, especially the way they're playing right now.
All right, let's turn over to women's a little bit here. How has the season been for you? And can you give us at least your top 5 going into their big tournament?
Yeah, the women's has not been as great this year as it was last year. Last year it was just a phenomenal start, and throughout the season it was just consistently good. This year, I think there may be a little bit more parity in college basketball, women's college basketball, than I've seen in the past. I do have the top 5 teams in the country within 3.5 points of each other from top to bottom. And I know the big favorite is Connecticut. I have not had them rated that high. I've got them number 2 in the country, but the way the number that's out there right now, I think Connecticut's a huge favorite to win the NCAA tournament. And I just don't see that. I think Don Staley's done a great job with South Carolina. They lost their best player early in the year, Chloe Kitts. I didn't know if they would recover, but they did, and they're deep and they're strong. They're athletic. So I have South Carolina number 1, Connecticut 2, and I've actually got UCLA tied with Connecticut at number 2. And it's a team that I bet already, UCLA, and I think they're probably the most value out of the top 5 that I have. Texas is 4 and LSU is number 5. I think those are the only 5 teams that have a chance to win the women's tournament. I've got a 10-point drop off to number 6, and that would be Duke, who's been amazing. And since ACC play started, they just lost their undefeated record. I think they were 14-0, and they lost the other night, I think, to Georgia Tech. So, but they're 10 points behind LSU. So it's a logjam for me at the top 5: South Carolina, Connecticut, UCLA, Texas, and LSU. Out of those teams, I think the most value will be UCLA. I think they're a very, very good basketball team. I think they got a good chance to win it all.
Looking at the prices over on DK, so UConn minus 285 to win the national title, UCLA 7-1, South Carolina plus 850, Texas 14-1, and LSU 16-1.
Well, I love the 7-1 on UCLA, but 14-1 on Texas. They've already shown that they can beat some of the best teams in the country. So, what was LSU?
LSU was 16.
16. It's a 5-horse race, and I think any one of these teams could win it. So. Those are nice prices that you can get, I think, on Texas and LSU. They both have, from the Southeastern Conference, they've played a great schedule, and they'll be right there. That's the one thing I think the negative maybe with Connecticut is they've played in that Big East, and it's, very, very weak basketball conference on the women's side. So they're by far the best team in that conference. They really haven't had a big test as of late.
All right, Kenny, I am curious of the other collegiate sport that we are pretty big fans of this season just starting, and that'd be college baseball. Do you have a top 5 there before we ask you about a tournament here in Vegas this weekend?
Off the top of my head, I don't have it in front of me, but I had UCLA number 1 to come in the beginning of the year. A lot of returning talent on this team, and their pitching staff is loaded. The coach, Savage, has been there forever. I think 18 years now. He's done a very nice job. Sent a bunch of guys to the big leagues. Jamison Tyon's one, Garrett Cole's another, and he's got a couple of guys right now. Their 1 and 2 guys are big leaguers. So their rotation is set. LSU, once again, one of the top teams in the country. And then Texas, Jim Schlossnagle, former UNLV head baseball coach, who's catapulted his way to the top of the college baseball world. He's got an outstanding baseball team down there in Austin. So those 3, I'm going to guarantee that maybe 2 of those 3 could be in the finals. The Cinderella from last year, Coastal Carolina, once again, though, is a top 10 program. I looked at what I had them last year. I had them 18th in the country going into the season last year, and they made it all the way to the finals against LSU. And then most of their players are back from this year. So I think I had Coastal number 5. They've got the number 1 pitcher in the country in Cameron Flukie. So with him on the mound, they could beat anybody in the country, and they'll be dangerous too, but I'm sure you're not going to be able to get the type of odds you could have gotten with them last year. But those are some of the best. And the tournament coming up, and I'm out there at the ballpark always every year. A lot of fun to go out there and watch.
Yeah. Go ahead, Alex.
No, sorry, Ryan. We got Oregon, Arizona, Vandy, and UC Irvine this year. So we are looking forward to this one for sure. Probably don't have your numbers yet, kind of day by day, and got to see who is pitching. But then maybe we can get those from you Thursday or Friday.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, just ask me. I'll shoot you a text. Shoot me a text, and I'll let you know what I made those games. Those are really good programs. I heard you say Oregon and Vandy. Who are the other two schools?
Arizona and UC Irvine.
Oh my gosh, that's a great tournament. Arizona's down a little bit this year, the position player wise, and I think they're starting pitching. They do have the best one of the top closers in the country in Bundy. So if they're up late, they always got a good chance to win. Irvine, one of their better teams, I think, what I've seen from them so far. So that's going to be a great tournament this week.
We're excited for it.
Well, we appreciate your time. We know that you are busy and you got a lot to get to. Hopefully we can check in again, maybe after March Madness or maybe during a little bit if we can find a window. But enjoy the weekend. We'll talk soon. Thank you, Dad.
Thank you for the time, Kenny.
All right. Well, there he is, Kenny White, former odds maker here for the Las Vegas line and current professional handicapper. You can go to kennywhitesports.com if you want to get the power ratings. You'll find them right there on the website. So appreciate his time. Ryan, anything jump out to you? Whether it was talking about women's college basketball, 5-horse race, we can get some great numbers there, or anything with men's basketball.
Yeah, I mean, even really, yeah, the fact that it is a 10-point difference from his top 5 to his 6th best team in women's college basketball. And then looking at the futures market, UConn, you're laying almost $3 for them to win the national title. Even if you take UCLA, South Carolina, Texas, and LSU at a unit each, you're still going to end up 3 as long as UCLA gets it done. And you're really just rooting against UConn at that point.
Right.
So there, yeah, if you want to just play against UConn and think it's that top 4, you're getting $3 there. The kind of value in women's college basketball. But UConn is the only undefeated team remaining. They are one of 2 teams with a 0 in their record, and the other would be Valpo, who has yet to win a game this year. So 2 polar opposites there. But yeah, UConn a minus 285 price, and Kenny definitely seemed to like the value there with UCLA at 7, and even LSU and Texas at 14 and 14 for Texas, 16 there for LSU, but his best team is South Carolina, and they're plus 850.
Yeah, that jumped out to me too, plus 850, where he thought UCLA was going to be the best value, but it appears other people have already jumped on them. So now that's kind of making the other 3, South Carolina, Texas, and LSU, have even more value. So we still have time. You can watch, catch up. I mean, that's kind of a good starting point for all of us to keep an eye on those 5 teams, watch a few games, and maybe one jumps out to you that you like it and you want to root for. But I like your way too. Put a little bit on the 4 and just kind of be rooting against the Huskies there. I did see in the chat, I saw it was Joey B made us some lines there. He can cash that. Revenge factor was in fact said, but only got even money for that. But very good. Anything else before we give our plays of the day and get out of here on a Wednesday?
Yeah, we did have some NBA chat in the live chat. JR did point out that the Bulls are a complete mess after the trade deadline, and then I had to point out that they are the only team in the NBA to have yet to win a game in the month of February, and they only have 1 game left, and that would be tomorrow against the Trailblazers. So yeah, the Bulls currently 0-10 in the month of February. And then we had Charles asking about the Celtics and Nuggets game tonight. Second of a back-to-back for the Celtics. They did handle their business in Phoenix last night. They are winners of 4 straight. So I mentioned in the live chat that I would be more so inclined to take in the Nuggets with the elevation shift there with the Celtics on back-to-back nights. And then we even had Keith Lyle letting us know that Jaylen Brown is likely out tonight against the Nuggets there. So only laying a 3.5 there with the Nuggets in the NBA, and it is kind of we don't bring up the NBA a whole lot other than the trends to begin the show. But yeah, and then Adam Orphan jumping in and Bob letting us know some other things that he likes. So yeah, pretty active chat, and very good, very happy to have you guys here.
Very good. I know Keith Lyle's been keeping up with the NBA and the injuries, so we do appreciate that, jumping in and letting us know that. I do have 5 on the hardwood, technically 3 because I'm throwing Tulsa and Wisconsin on my board. I have all favorites. I can't believe it. This might be the first time ever. So just to remind everybody, Tulsa -4.5, Wisconsin -5.5, and then also Kenny White liked St. John's, Connecticut under. He was leaning that way with both defenses being much better. That's going to be a good game. I'm looking forward to that one between two of the best coaches. We did go over hockey. I don't know if I'm putting any on the board. Curious to see what Ryan decides. I know he was thinking about taking a shot there with some underdogs. So we'll find out. We did have the poll question about the College Classic coming up this weekend, asking which team you like this weekend. And it looks like Vanderbilt was the winner there at 58%, Arizona 20%, and then Oregon and UC Irvine tied. Round robin style, everybody plays everybody. So should be a lot of fun out there. If you're in Vegas, come see us, definitely. Ryan, Vandy's got a new coach.
Yeah.
So we got to dive into that and see how that is going to affect them.
Something I am pretty excited to see is college baseball is very fun. The celebrations are unique, to say the least. And then the home run helmets that the Oregon Ducks have, they're using one of their school's football helmets with a pretty slicked out visor that says Ducks. So I'm pretty pumped up to get to see that as part of the camera crew and being able to be part of the stream for that game, for those games. So yeah, definitely looking forward to the college baseball coming up this weekend, especially here in town, and then the rest of the college baseball season. So good to have baseball back, and you may or may not be seeing a spring training game on my whiteboard here.
Very good. Love it. And the other thing is it's so different from minor league baseball because of, everybody in the dugout is yelling and very involved in it, which you understand, but kind of stops once you get to the minors there. All right, let's get to it. Do we have a ticker trivia?
That we do.
Would you like to go to that, and then you can go straight to your whiteboard plays for us?
So similar to yesterday's ticker trivia, talking about the Grapefruit League over on the East Coast and spring trading. This ticker trivia, presented by City Light Shine, available at Lee's Discount Liquor, Total Wine, and here at the South Point Hotel and Casino, is talking about the games on the West Coast. How many teams currently share a stadium in Major League Baseball's Cactus League, held each spring in Arizona? We did have some answers in our live chat, but the answer would be, in contrast to the 4 Major League Baseball teams that share a park in the Grapefruit League, it would be 10 Major League Baseball teams that share a stadium in the Cactus League. All 10 Cactus League ballparks are located exclusively in the Phoenix metro area, thus creating a large economic boost for the Valley each spring. No correct guesses there on the 10 teams that share a stadium there in the Cactus League. But your answer for ticker trivia presented by City Light Shine would be the 10 Major League Baseball teams that share a stadium.
It does make sense that they have more sharing because it is definitely more tight-knit than in Florida. Yeah. It's very spread out. All right, last but not least, to the whiteboards. Would you like to start it off?
I'm gonna
finishing.
Yeah.
I will start it off then. And as I mentioned, I'm adding those 2 from Kenny White with Tulsa and Wisconsin. And then I've got a couple other favorites here. I'm going with St. Joe's on the road. This was a favorite flip playing against George Mason. George Mason opened as the favorite. If you could have got points there with St. Joseph's, good job. But I do think that that is the correct side at home. Lost the first one, better team. Then I'm going to go with James Madison. JMU -5.5 at home against Georgia Southern. Again, much better team in the Sun Belt. Did lose to Georgia Southern in the first matchup. So I think that they will get their revenge here. Same thing with Providence. This one is tricky. I think it'll be a good game between these two. And we do know Richard Pitino did go to Providence, but Xavier got the best of them the first game. So I think Providence can get the second one. That is farther down the board because it was supposed to be yesterday, but they are playing it today because of the weather. So there's my 5 favorites on the board. I am leaning to the Caps tonight. Having Logan Thompson, not a lot of starting goalies going today, but he is one of them. And that's about it for me. So we will send it over to Ryan once he finishes his board, and I think he is ready to go.
Mine is ready, and it does feature the NBA game that we just mentioned. Taking the Nuggets, minus the 3.5 there against the Boston Celtics at home, minus a 110 price there, and here at the South Point. The Buffalo Sabres laying the puck and a half, the reverse puck and a half there on the road in New Jersey, getting a plus 215 price there. The Seattle Kraken money line on the road against the Dallas Stars, getting a plus 150 price there. And then you're seeing some spring training baseball here. The San Francisco Giants money line, getting a plus 120 price there against the Milwaukee Brewers. The Giants have yet to lose a game in spring training. I get it. It's been 4 games. Yeah, I mean, realistically, this shouldn't be on my board. But we've got a plus price here, a plus 120 against the Brewers, who also have not won a game here in spring training. The Giants have covered the run line in each of their 4 games. Brewers have not been playing well. Give me a plus price.
All right.
3 plus prices and 1 pick 'em.
I did not realize that they haven't lost one, so that's something we're going to have to keep an eye on.
The Giants and the Nationals are the only teams that have, well, the Nationals did tie, but the Giants and Nationals are the only teams that have not lost a game in 9 innings in spring training so far.
And the Nationals, as we all expected to start it off like that.
Yep.
All right, very good. Well, are you sure? What about the Dodgers? Dodgers 2, 4-0?
Are they 4-0?
Yes.
It might have just been games played today that I looked at.
Okay. Oh, that makes sense. So, they're the only other team. Dodgers,
Okay.
Giants, and then you are right, the Nationals with a tie there. Good. Pirates too, 4-1. So, something that we'll keep an eye on. I love it. All right, good luck tonight, everybody. Cash some tickets. We appreciate you guys jumping in and being in the chat. Good to see everybody, Bob Custer, and everybody else, as always. We'll be back tomorrow, 10 a.m. Dwayne Colucci joins us from the resort at Summerlin. Hopefully, it has settled down there a little bit for him. We'll check in, but we will, if we don't talk to Dwayne tomorrow, it will be early next week. So that's it for us today. Back on Friday as well, 10 a.m., all Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. Pacific time. Please make sure that you are subscribed to the YouTube channel. Also, give us a follow on all of the social media. For Ryan McCormick and the crew, and Jerry, Sean, Vince, and Drew Dog, I'm Alex White. Good luck. Cash some tickets. We'll see you again tomorrow here on Sports by the Book.